Welcome all. We bring the Transportation Committee meeting of October 10th to order. I want the records to reflect that Councilman Valentine is working tonight and he is not here. And we will now do the prayer and the pledge. Father, we do so honor you tonight. We thank you for the privilege of being servants to the people who have elected us. We ask your many blessings upon our soldiers, both men and women who are abroad. We ask for a quick return home and safe return, Lord. We ask for wisdom tonight. We ask for the provisions, Lord, that we need to move transportation in Ascension Parish forward. We also ask for creative and innovative ways to make that transportation happen. And we ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For the public comment period, anybody wishing to speak on an item can do so as the item is brought up. Just let the secretary know.
Miss Madam Chairwoman?
Yes.
It's not on here, but I need to add something with two-thirds to the agenda.
And that is?
And that this has to do with some houses on West Worthy that we need a decision on, condemned houses. It's two houses that were bought part of our road program and right-of-way program on West Worthy, and we need to discuss that. And
is that two other than the ones on item 7?
Well, okay, I don't have the revised.
Okay.
Again, I'm sorry. Okay. I got the old agenda.
So we have you covered? Is that all?
You're covered then.
Yeah. I think it may be a revival bill at the podium there.
Yep.
Then we will go to item number 4. It's an update on parish and state projects.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Kent Israel to give an update on state and parish road projects.
Welcome, Kent.
Good evening, Madam Chairman, council members. I passed out a Transportation Committee project status update dated October 10th, 2006 to you earlier. And items of interest are receive the final right-of-way taking lines on West Worthy. We will be having a consultant prepare right-of-way maps, and the reason for changing the right-of-way there was to reduce the right-of-way taking and possibility of having to buy homes along a certain section of about 1,000 feet of West Worthy. The 2005 road widening project is about 25%. We're working on various roadways, laying pipe, laying asphalt, cutting saw cement. And on the intersection 2004 intersection improvement program, the consultant GSA is performing the intersection analysis for the, as required by the state, to determine the length of left turn lanes and what is needed. So that is an ongoing thing right now. LA 73 621 interchange with I-10. A field inspection was held October 10th. KLL, or Krebs, LaSalle, Lemieux will start preparation of final plans for that project. The department is hoping to take bids by July 1st on that project. Roddy Road bridges, verifying, the consultant GSA is verifying hydraulic data. Preliminary plans are being reviewed right now. And on that one, GSA has brought some information to the parish, CJ Godam, about possibilities of doing some work downstream of these bridges, which may help alleviate some of the need for a larger bridge at that one of the sites. Other information, interest on the LA 73, Department of Transportation and Development has selected a consultant, Sigma Engineering out of Baton Rouge, to do the design on those two projects. One is an overlay from LA 30, I believe, to 74 is an overlay, and then the reconstruction or widening of 73 from I-10 to Airline with subsurface drainage is part of that project. Huh? Well, that's not on this list.
Okay.
That's just other information that I picked up. That is the status of the ongoing projects at this time. Any questions?
I want to expand on a couple of things that's internal to, some of it's internal to DPW. The Calico Road crossing, those box covers are in place. They're being backfilled right now. Hopefully, most of the substantial work will be completed at the end of this week if we don't get a lot of rain tonight or tomorrow, where it's at least crossable. Then we do the overlay, the compaction and overlay after that. At that point, we're moving probably next week, if we can finish this up, the Calico Road crossing this week. Next week, we'll be moving to Bayou Grande as part of the drainage, combination drainage and road plan of putting box covers under Bayou Grande North. And the road crews actually do it because that's where they experience that. And but it is a road crossing, so as such, I wanted to bring it to your attention. That's about a 2.5 to 3 week process at that location, and then we move into the Greenfield crossing subdivision for 2 road crossings at that location, where we substitute, we're upgrading the 2 36-inch covers at both locations with some one single large box cover at each location to expedite drainage. So that should be in about 3 weeks moving to that location. Also, we in the 2000, like I said, in 2006, like Kent said, we're working on that internally at DPW. 2007, though, and 2008. 2007, we are preparing a road list now. We would like to have the input of the council members from information that you have in your districts. You send us information on certain roads that you like to, or you see in your district that needs upgrading. And also, after we complete that, we're going to compile a pretty extensive list. And the ones that's chosen for 2007, we're going to bring it back to you. Again, we're trying to keep about $2.5 million projects. We're going to try to fit what we can into that, off of that list that both DPW and the administration and the council members conclude needs to be upgraded. Everything left over from that list, we're going to include it in the 2008. We want to try to have the 2007 ready for the first of the year to start construction, and the 2008 have it ready to go to engineering by the fall of 2007. So we can get back on schedule and begin construction of the 2008, early 2008, so it can be completed within that year. So that's our upgrade of the update on some of the internal projects within DPW.
So basically, Bill, you're asking us to prepare a list for 2000 and 2008.
What we're asking to do is
2007 and 2008.
We're going to compile a comprehensive list of concerns. What we're saying is just give us all your concerns, and then we will we'll prioritize it with the problems that we see out there, and fit it into the top priority of road into a $2.5 million project. Everything that don't fit into that $2.5 million project will be automatically rolled over to the 2008 project. And if there's not enough roads there, we'll come back to you and ask for more information. But it should be
plenty of roads.
In other words, instead of doing it twice, let's get all our concerns out and try to get everything into 2 projects, the 2007 and 2008.
Bill, you should already have a list that still has some roads from lists that we've made in the past.
Right, and that's from the 2007.
Right. If you could maybe get us a copy of that, so I'm talking about each councilman.
Right.
So that they can go over the list, so that they can go back and see, you know, if they've gotten some since then that maybe they want to put ahead of those. Even.
What I'll do is send you an updated, just so you have all the information in front of you. I'll send you the 2006, what we're working on. I'll send you the ones that were not included in 2006, and so you have everything that's been considered to date.
Right. And then we can add to that list. Councilman Lambert.
Yeah, Ken, on the 05 projects,
Yes.
Raymond Bro Road, Church Point Road, where are they at on the project?
I know Church Point, the contractors divided them, all the roads, there were 26, into essentially three phases. I know Church Point is in phase 3, which should be towards the latter part of the year, doing phase 3.
Councilman, we're handing out, I sent this to you, but I'm going to hand it out for your review. Again, this is the schedule that Kent is talking about.
Yeah.
And in it, you'll see the dates of, the scheduled dates for the 2005.
Okay, good.
Thank you
Good.
very
Thank you,
much.
Bill.
Okay.
That answers a lot.
Councilman Hillenspan.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Fontenot. Ken, I have a question. I noticed on several of these projects, when you get down to utility relocation coordination, we're at 0% on almost all of these. Now, I know relocation is one thing, but coordination is another. Is there a problem getting the coordination done so that that's another item out of the way concurrently while we
Well,
work on
the
it?
coordination involves not only preparing or helping the utility companies prepare their where they're going to relocate, a plan for relocating, but it also includes supervision and making sure they're working with the utility companies as they're doing this utility work.
So
And
in
you
other
have
words,
to have the utility work cannot start until after the right-of-way is acquired. So a
Yeah.
lot of it, they kind of piggyback on each other.
Okay, I understand that, and I understand the construction certainly can't get started,
Yep.
but I'm just thinking, well, if we could at least get the coordination done,
Well,
then
the
that
coordination
would
covers a lot
speed
of
up
different
these
items.
projects.
It
Okay.
covers a lot of different things. It's not just, it's getting the agreement and the actual relocation done.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes.
Mr. Schechtner.
Yes, I'm looking over this in the Roddy Road bridges. It says verifying hydraulic data. Is that taken into account what's going over the bridges now, over the roads at high water marks, and we're going to provide for that? Because I know we're raising the roads,
Yes.
and the concerns of the residents is there is that if we do not allow for enough area to handle that existing flow that is going over the roads, that water's going to back up into the houses. I've had a couple of people.
It's using the information on the water that's going over the road, but it's also on one of the bridges. They GSA looked at it and found out that if we could do some work downstream of Roddy Road on there's another culvert location with a smaller pipe than what we're putting under Roddy Road. If we could do some work there, we might be able to save a lot of work on Roddy Road. So that's something they've looked at and are working with CJ Godin, DPW, on coming up with a solution that everybody can agree
keep that
on.
in mind. I mean, the people that are living there know that there is a problem because the water does go over. The water continues to rise until it goes over the bridge.
Yeah.
And then it comes within 5 or 6 inches of their house, and so they're concerned whenever we do those roads.
But
so.
what they found that it may not be the road or the bridge on Roddy Road that's the actual problem, but downstream of Roddy Road, that there is a constriction in the channel that's causing the water to back up and causing problems.
Okay.
And also with that, just a little, we the same as we do with subdivision. We're looking at it from the top elevation. So whatever we do, we don't want the elevation of that stream at that point to rise any more after the construction is over with. And that's one primary consideration we're mandating.
Thank you for your concern.
I appreciate that, Mr. Rue, because I know that bridges sometimes act as dams too, and if we're going to raise it any at all, we want to make sure that it's done for the future, because they're not so easy to come back and raise again.
Correct.
They're very costly. I know we have one at 621 that we really need raised. I appreciate that. Is that all,
Yes.
Kent? We appreciate that. Thank you so much. I think that you've got the next two, so just continue to stay.
Stay, yes.
Number 5, change order number 1 for the 2005 road reconstruction project.
I handed out this evening a copy, for each of you, a copy of change order number 1 for the 2005 road construction project. R.J. Daigle and Sons is your contractor. Burt Klein-Peter was the design engineer. The amount of this change order is $18,405.86. Page 2 gives a breakdown of the change order for the 7 different roads, the amount of money that was changed. The biggest one being Swamp Road, where there was a change order there for $34,000. $34,850. And then after page 1 of 2 is a total breakdown of the change order, what items changed. And then after that is a breakdown by roadway of what items changed. And I guess I'll go to Swamp Road, which is the largest one. And there, one of the biggest change there is we reduced the in-place cement stabilization by 5,000 square yards, but replaced it with a patching. In other words, what we did on that road, instead of being able to stabilize the existing material, it was decided to widen the road about a foot on each side in order to get as wide as possible, and essentially exchange money from one item to another item. And one of the biggest increases there was for traffic maintenance aggregate of $3,000. So the total for Swamp Road was $34,000.
Excuse me, Cheryl.
Councilman Hillinsberg.
Yeah, and I should have called you on this, Cheryl. I was on Swamp Road the other day, and there's a resident when you're traveling south on Swamp and you come across the railroad track. He lives on the left where you go into that deep curve. I think the gentleman's name is Mr. Holloway, but he's not happy how that turned out, and just looking at the grade and how it's all laid out, I believe he's going to need another catch basin on the he's got a catch basin on one side of his drive, but I believe he's going to have another because he's going to have a serious erosion and water standing problem there. And it's just something you might want to look at, take a look at and see. He asked me about it. I just happened to be driving through and stopped and was looking at some of the work, and he brought that to my attention. I apologize for not calling you about it, but I think we need to take a look.
We'll have somebody look at it.
It's right there as you approach that hard curve where you start back up the hill. He's on the left. And I think if you take a look at it, both sides of his drive, you'll understand his concern.
And I haven't heard from him either, so he has not called me that I know of. I did have a few people on Swamp Road that were concerned about being in a curve area and having the ditches culverted, in a certain area, because they were scared that people come through the curve and the ditch stops the car from getting into the yard and the house. And so I had a couple calling about that. I had understood it was just going to be some minimal widening.
Yeah, it was minimal widening of the the road, it's the travel roadway. But we filled in the ditches with pipe on some of these locations in order to be able to get any kind of widening.
Right,
And Swamp Road is just very, very narrow.
right.
And I guess if a car runs off the road in the curve, won't have a deep ditch to hit. They'll be able to get into somebody's
Have a
yard.
crew stop them instead of a...
It was just a very tight situation with the existing right-of-way and the width of the road on Swamp.
Well, Swamp Road is in my district, and also Fife Lane. I see there's a reduction there. Maybe that should be the next place you go, since it's a big reduction. What exactly is taking place there?
On Fife Road, it was the in-place cement stabilization, 10 inches thick, was reduced from 1,790 square yards to 1,348 square yards. The asphalt went from 252 tons to 201 tons. Reduced some of the pipe lengths, which made a total $21,000 reduction.
Motion to approve change order, send it to the council.
I have a motion and a second. Any objections? You can get this on the next council agenda for the third Thursday. Thank you, Stacy. We have item number 6. It's a certificate of substantial completion, project number 204 RC01. Mr. Ken Israel.
This is the project that Barrier Construction did for the parish, that PEC was the engineer. Barrier has completed all the work that was involved in the plan change that the council earlier approved, and we needing to have a substantial completion certificate accepted in order to close out this contract.
What's the status? Did you check?
They have done everything.
Everything's
Yes, we have driven the road on at least 2 occasions, checking on everything that they were asked to do.
Motion.
Second.
Madam Chairman.
I have a motion and a second.
No, this is a certificate of substantial completion, which we need approved so they can do the rest of their paperwork and finish what needs to be done on the project as far as the paperwork.
So I have a motion and a second to accept a certificate of substantial completion. Are there any objections? Then the motion carries. That can be placed on the next council agenda. We'll go on to item number 7. Mr. Laverne Bourgeois, our chief building inspector, or chief building official, discussing the removal of 2 houses on West Worthy in connection with the Rose Riding project.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I bring to you tonight a discussion that we've had recently with some concerns about 2 projects that were bought out by the parish and a road widening project off of West Worthy. And we bring to you tonight a concern that these are to be removed, if possible, in 3 methods we could have them removed. One being to have the parish take them out with their own equipment and manpower. The other would be to have them bid out if somebody is wishing to buy them to relocate in a timely manner, or have a contractor come in and bid it to demo the houses. And those 3 suggestions, I should say, would be determined by what the council or the committee wants to do with these projects.
Chairman.
Wait, what?
Councilman Lambert.
Laverne, in-house man to do this, where would that equipment come from, Bill? Is that drainage or is that road?
Yes, sir.
And they're tied up right now, pretty far behind, right? So it would take them off of what they're doing?
Actually, yes, it would, but in essence, you're looking at 1 day per house, maybe
Oh, okay.
maybe even sooner. You know, all you can do is track over there with a and with a couple dump trucks, you can have the house, one day per house easily, maybe both one day.
What is your suggestion coming from DPW?
We just want them out.
Yeah.
and if they're bid,
If it's only going to take us a day or so, I recommend that we let in-house take care of them and get rid of them.
Well, one of the things is that we're trying to go through parish-wide and clean up the areas and neglected houses and things of that sort. And if we're going to allow properties that we own to go into disrepair and not do something about it, I don't think we can expect anybody else to do that. So I think we need to move as quickly as possible to alleviate this problem and get these houses removed, and do that as expediently as possible, cost effectively as possible. And I'd like to second Todd's motion to get that done.
Stacy, we have a motion to remove these two houses in-house. Any objections? Then the motion carries. That'll be on the next council agenda.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Bourgeois. Item number 8, Pelican Point Roads, Councilman Kent Chickstein.
Yes, I've asked this to be put on the agenda. I think last year at the Homeowners Association meeting, there was a discussion about the conditions of the roads, and it's a fairly complicated issue. There's drainage system that goes under the roads that drains ponds from one side all the way to the Panama, and they go under the roads, and due to the fact of construction with, I think, fluoride is an issue, and among some other things, these culverts that are transferring water from one pond to another and eventually drain to the Panama are causing severe erosion, and the roads are falling in areas. And just when one is patched up, another one comes up and another one comes up, and Mr. Rue has said that he would look into that and try to come up with some type of plan. And so I would just I think if anybody rides out there and see, I think he's pretty familiar with it, I would just like to recommend that we come up with DPW comes up with a plan that we can have to solve this problem, and then we'll see what we can do.
I can comment on it right now, Councilman, and that is that DPW is recommending that the committee look at hiring an engineering firm to do the evaluation and find out what is the problem, and also to do the design to fix it, and then come back and go to outsourcing the project to solve the problem. So we're asking to hire an engineer to do the evaluation and the project.
Okay, and URS would oversee just like they do on
like
everything
on all
else?
The projects, yes, sir.
Okay, and what do you have a cost estimate as to?
That would be part of the first task of the engineering firm chosen by the council, is to get a scope of work together with a possible with a budget amount and a scope and come back to the
and you report to us on what that would be.
Come back with that figure to the council or to the committee, and then go to the next step of actually doing the work.
I'd like to
Question.
Yes, Mr. Are you
Go ahead.
finished?
You want to make your motion?
I'd like to offer as a motion that you begin the process and come back to us with a cost on a task order to hire somebody to come in and try to figure out this problem and the solutions for that.
Got a question. Austin Dell was next.
I'll second the motion for discussion. I guess the question I have, Bill, who was the original engineer on that project? I think we need to find that out.
That was done under the development of that subdivision.
Right, but it had to be engineered, and
that's right, and I can get that information.
we need to find that out, because I don't want to hire an engineer to go out there and correct what he should have corrected in the beginning.
I can get that information for you.
And I guess the second question I have is I'm not against going outside trying to hire someone, but I think hired a new engineer from DOTD, that's both a road specialist and a hydrologist. I would recommend, rather than going outside DPW, I'd turn this project over and let's see what our new engineer on staff would have, what his recommendation would be, because I believe he's
I think that's what it is.
no, he said going outside. I'm saying do it in-house.
I agree with.
Right. Well, I think we're okay with evaluating the problems and making a recommendation of what needs to be done. But the complete engineering design of the reconstruction of the entire project, where all the failures are, because we have a lot of subsurface drainage problems. So you're going to get fairly extensive in the repair.
I realize it's going to be fairly expensive, and that's why I'm trying to hold the cost down, do it in-house
And
if possible.
I think it's a little bit beyond not our capability, but our ability to have the manpower to put together a complete project, engineering project.
Well, I'd make a substitute motion that maybe we have our in-house engineer at least go evaluate it and take a look at it and come back with a problem, with an analysis of what the problem is and a recommendation, how best to handle it.
We'll come back at the next committee meeting with a little bit more information.
We have a motion and a second.
I got a question, Mr. Chairman.
And
Bill,
we'll wait to vote.
Bill, all these roads, I know it's drainage pipes that's causing the failure of the roads. Because the majority of the roads in this subdivision is private. From what I can understand, there's only 2 roads in this subdivision that's public.
No,
you need to check
opposite. You only have a couple roads, I think.
I did a little digging into that this afternoon.
All of it's public, with the exception, I think, of the section. Actually, I think where the parish president lives is that one section road. Everything else.
I'd like you to follow up on that and give us the information.
I can, but I can testify that is the case.
Because I was informed that the majority of them are public roads. It's not private roads.
No, the majority are.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
The majority are public.
No.
Majority are public. They were turned over several years ago. They intended to remain private, but when they start seeing some of the problem and cost of maintaining the highways, they chose to turn it over to the parish. About 4 years ago, I think.
And while we're doing that research too, Bill, when we find out who the engineer was that engineered all this, let's look and see what kind of bond they have in place. And I mean, I'd much rather someone else pay for this than taxpayers of Ascension Parish.
Right, but once it's over with, once it's been accepted into the parish, you release most of your liability.
Well, I would think under normal warranty conditions, yes, but maybe under negligence and maybe under malpractice, they maybe not. I mean.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get the information for you. I'll pass it through our legal department and attorney, probably O'Neill and Ricky, and
let them look
get
at
an
it.
opinion back from them about what recourse we have.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman Lambert.
Bill, since it's the majority of the roads, from what I can understand, quite a few of them.
Quite a few, and most of them have to do with the fact that the subsurface drainage, or the water from the ponds remain in. It's a wet system. It stays in the drainage pipe, and it's starting to leak through at the joints and mostly at the catch basins, and it's causing a failure.
So,
and the fact that it's a floor light road.
Well,
water floor light
that's
in
the
it.
parish's responsibility for the floor light. But anyway, if it's going to be a major project, we may have to do this in phases instead of do it in one project. I don't know if it's going to be
Well, that's why we got to get a full
feasibility to go in there and fix all the roads at one time. I'm thinking, we're just going to have to do it in a phase, just like all our other roads are getting done.
Again, we have to get the full evaluation and the cost of
Correct.
retrofitting the existing pipes and system.
Because what I'm saying, we can't sink all of our road and bridge fund into one project.
Once we look at the figures, then it's your decision. We break it up in phases. No problem.
All right.
Bill, when you do this investigation, I mean, I'm sure that if the roads were taken into the system, that it would be in the minutes of the meetings.
Yeah.
We need to know that's been done, since there is some question about that. So we have a motion and a second as a substitute motion to have our DPW in-house evaluate the situation and research it
And come back with
and make recommendations to us from that standpoint. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's just an internal request from the committee, so it don't have to go to council. And we just come back and report back to you what we find or where we're at in our investigation at the next meeting.
Sounds good. Any objections to that? There being no objections, put this on the next Council Transportation Committee. Number 9, Highway 44 update. Mr. Rue.
Yeah, and I think we put this on because I think Councilman Checknotter wanted some updates of Highway 44, and the project's still going forward. It's probably looking at the end of the year, first of the year at best, that it's going to be bid out. One of the issues is the intersection at Loosemore, 941 and 44. We're preparing the intergovernmental agreements for us to participate with the state in the a construction of a turn lanes on 44 and on 941 and on Loosemore, and also a signalization of that intersection. It looks like right now that, of course, the developer of a subdivision on Loosemore will put up at least $200,000. That is going to go toward the intersection improvements of 44. In addition to that, our negotiations so far with DOTD indicated that we may have to put up right-of-way costs and utility relocation costs, but that is still negotiating at those points. DOTD will take care of the 20% match of construction for the rest of it. So that's just an update. It's still, it's moving forward. It looks like it's stalled a little bit. It looks like this intersection improvement will come as a change order, so we don't stop the project waiting on it. We have that agreement with DOT. We're just preparing the paperwork, which we'll bring back to you, and for acceptance and authorization to sign and move forward.
Councilman Chester.
Bill, I just wanted to say, thanks for your forward thinking into getting developers involved with the intersection and bringing needed monies in here where it allows us to make a change while the road is being done, rather than coming back in the parish have to probably spend 3 or 4 times the money at a later date. So I think it's thank you very much. It's a credit to y'all being on top of things there.
Item number 10, Parks at Dutchtown Subdivision, a 3-way stop sign at Central Park and Remington Park Drive. We do have a
Petition.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any objections? There being none, you can put that, Stacy, on the next council agenda for a 3-way stop sign at Parks at Dutchtown Subdivision. The next item is item number 11, roads to be accepted into the parish system. Oak Alley Estates, the third filing. We have 3 roads: Oak Fields Drive, Oak Crest Avenue, Oak Landing Avenue.
Bill, they all been inspected and approved by DPW?
They have been inspected and do meet our
So moved, Madam Chairman.
Second.
Have a motion and acceptance and a second to accept the roads of Oak Alley Estates. Any objections? There being none, the motion passed. That too can go on the next council agenda. Item number B, Bluff Meadows Subdivision, 1 road, Bluff Meadows Drive.
Have been inspected and meet our specifications.
So moved.
Second.
Any objections? We have a motion and a second. No objections. Motion passed. Add Bluff Meadows Subdivision, Bluff Meadows Drive to the council agenda. Item number 12, Mr. Rue, an update on grass cutting, spraying on roadside ditches.
I'm handing out some of this. Is not item number 12, and I'm going to get into item number 12 in just a second. I just saw this in my packet, and I'd like for a 2/3, after we finish this agenda item, this is a formality we have to send into the state. It has to do with our off-system bridge program. And again, after I finish this item, I'd like for you to consider adding that as a 2/3, so we just send that on to the state. The update of the grass cutting spray on roadside ditches. As you know, and we're going to bring it up on the computer, on the screen. If you see the different colors of the of East Ascension, that's the 5 zones. If you remember back, we discussed this, the 5 DPW zones. We have put the roadside ditch cutting and drainage completely separate. Roadside ditch maintenance is totally roads, nothing else. And what they're actually doing right now, and we're evaluating the possibility of putting people within a zone and stay within that zone, but right now, to finish up this rotation and finish up this year, they're actually all in one zone at a time, completing all state roads and all parish roads, and before moving over to the other zone. They're followed up a week or 2 later by the spray crew, which goes into that zone and do their spraying approximately 7 or 8 days later, and they're on a constant rotation going from zone 1, which is the top left, to zone 2, top right, and then 3 is in the Santa Maria area, the middle right, zone 4, middle left, and then all of the bottom portion green is zone 5. So with that, right now, the spraying crew has completed, well, they're about 50% complete with zone 1 in spraying of roadside ditches. They have completed zone 2 and also, because we have enough personnel to do it, they're on just started zone 3. So again, they're complete with zone 2. They're about 50% complete with zone 1 and have started zone 3. On the grass cutting, the complete with zone 1, and on zone 2 they're about 20% complete, and it should be about 3 weeks. They should be complete with zone 2. Again, that's the top right corner, and be going to zone 3 in about 3 weeks. And again, they rotate within that and trying to complete a zone with everything before moving to the next.
Councilman Hills.
Yeah, just a couple of comments. And Bill, I know we've talked about this before. The west side is a zone to itself, so that ought to be zone or District 6.
Actually, that is zone 6.
Yeah, okay.
And
I'd just like to compliment you on this new plan. I've seen in my area, I've seen more grass cut recently and ditches sprayed than probably I've seen since I've been on the council, and I like the new plan. I compliment you and your supervisors and everyone that's making it work, because I can see a marked improvement.
And the comment,
in my area.
Because they all in your district.
and I appreciate it. The thing is,
Knocking it out. It looks good.
what we're trying to do, and again, I think it's fairly easy for y'all, for council members to follow, because if you know the zones, you can look at it, and if I come in and report, we just finished zone 1, and if you have part of your district is in zone 1, you're welcome to do one of 2 things. Number one, if you just saw today a road in zone 1 that wasn't done, bring to my attention. Or you can go back and kind of ride some of the roads in your district within zone 1. If you see something that hasn't been cut, come back, because you know then it should have been cut. The other reason it seems to be working well is that everything is being done on road, off road, state roads and parish roads all at once. Instead of, when you had the other situation was the state road was done separate, completely separate from parish roads, and it kind of gave the impression that we were just all over the place, and then some of the grass was growing when some of the grass was cut. So that makes a difference. The other issue is that I think when we order, because we got a total separation now, we're going to, our tractors for on-road cutting, we're going to start switching over to flail-type mowers. With a flail type, we can handle, especially the slope, flail on the slope. They do a better job. They don't sling as much debris, do less damage for windshields or whatever. They're much safer, and they last longer. In the past, we were using all the regular bush hog type mowers, slope mowers, mainly because we were utilizing them off-road too, and it's very hard to utilize a flail mower off-road. In addition to that, the flail mowers give a better cut on roads, a cleaner cut. So that by switching over to this new system, it enables us to do that, and I think we can have a better looking road by utilizing the different types of equipment.
Mr. Jackson, you had a question?
No. Oh, I was just reiterating what Doug had said on the West Bank. we're not ignoring that. That's being taken care of by the West Bank crew there. And did the new mower come in, Bill? That they put it online? I know one was ordered.
Some mowers came in to DPW because I saw them on the yard, I think about a week ago. But I'm not sure what they were for, and if they were for Donaldsville, and if they have it yet.
Yeah,
but I can check.
But I know Ronald was trying to get that. He was waiting on that, and it's sorely needed because it's very, very hard to keep up. They've gone from like 13 men to 10 men, and it's very hard to keep up without the extra equipment. So as soon as you can get that, I appreciate that.
I just want to thank you also because I think you're going to make our parish citizens very proud, and we'll be ready for that good economic development that our Economic Development Corporation is going to bring us. Right now, I want to add, Mr. Rue wants to add
Motion to add 2/3.
annual certificate of compliance.
Second.
No objections. Mr. Rue.
Yes, and this, again, yes, ma'am, this is just a formality. We required to send this in with other material every year as part of our program.
It has to go to the council, Bill?
Yes, sir, it has to go to the council. The resolution
Madam
from the council.
Second.
Any objections? No objections. This can be placed on the next council agenda for council approval.
Motion
I'll
to
entertain a
adjourn.
motion.
Second.
This meeting is adjourned. Drive safely.
Don't do that again.